This time we are going to do the main exercise to develop sensory awareness for cue sheet 1. I call this exercise spirals for coordination because we're doing a bit of turning and moving that requires some coordination, and we're doing it in time. And the time is more our felt sense of when to move, and if we choose, we can coordinate that with our breathing as well. So I have my setup here for what I will need for this exercise. And if you're not sure how you should set things up for yourself, I invite you to watch the intro of this series where I explain all the props you might need. I think it's very important that if you have any arm injury, any nerve damage, be sure to have the blanket set up for your arms and shoulders that I go over in the intro. Everybody should have a little something under their head and a very soft surface. And these two towels I'm going to use to support my back because the legs will be caught by these big towels here, and just limit my movement a little bit because my back is bothering me. Okay, so first come back onto the floor. You can let your inner knees rest together if that's comfortable for you. Let yourself settle in. Feel that the shoulder blades are even and flat on the floor. If you give yourself a little hug, that will broaden the shoulder blades and you can bring the arms back down. Adjust your lower back if you need to by picking up the hips and drawing the tail underneath you before coming back down. That'll give the lower back a little more space. You can have your hands on your ribs or out to the side. Just begin to turn your mind now to watching the movements of your breath. The movements associated with inhale, feel expansive, the ribs are opening, the diaphragm moves down toward the belly. And as you exhale, there's a little kind of consolidation that happens in the body as the diaphragm moves back up toward the chest. Watch a couple more breath cycles, observing the movements, following the movements of your diaphragm. Okay. I'm going to start by releasing any tension that is unwanted in our neck and shoulders. And just begin by turning your head from side to side, very slowly, observing if there's one side that feels more tense than the other, or maybe they feel both fine, or maybe both feel a little tense. But each time you turn your head slowly, just stopping when you start to feel anything that catches, and then go the other way, so you're not trying to push past any tension. Breathing, observing. Now, if you feel one side that's a little more congested than the other, it could be because you're doing a movement, very subtle movement, that is blocking you from turning. So, for example, that happens to me, and it happens on my right side. When I turn my head to the right, I can't go as far as my other side, and I feel a little tightness. So what you can do for that, if you have that situation, or you can just pick a side. Let's say they both feel good. Then you can do this to both sides anyway. Take your hand, your opposite hand, and place it on the shoulder, the side where you feel there might be a little bit of tension. First, turn the head opposite. And then as you turn your head toward the shoulder, the side that's tight, see if your shoulder actually stays quiet, or if you release the scapula, the shoulder blade, more toward the floor, if then you can turn a little more. So In my case, I've been doing this a while. I kind of knew how this story would go, which is I roll my right shoulder forward when I turn my head unless I'm aware of it. And so with my teaching hand here, I can calm the shoulder down, can keep it quiet as I turn my head. And I'm slowly teaching my body that that unnecessary movement in my shoulder will, it will eventually, I hope over time, learn not to happen. You can do it to both sides, because if I do it to my other side, I can see how quiet that shoulder is. So it doesn't surprise me anymore that I have a bit of tension on one side than the other. Now, we're going to do just a little gentle stretch for the neck. So turn your head to any side, really. Use the same side hand, teaching hand, to just give a gentle tug on the back of the skull, just slightly above the occipital ridge here. Just a little stretch. Feel around a little for yourself what feels good. So you're just stretching here, turning the head, and breathe into the whole side of the neck and shoulder there. So place your mind in this location and breathe right into it. Exhaling softly, letting the belly deepen. And then release. We'll go to the other side. It's a very gentle stretch, so if you're not feeling something big, that's not the point. Some of you might be feeling a lot though. So the hand comes again, just on the head. I'm just giving it a little extra tug, keeping the shoulder relaxed and heavy. When I feel just a little bit of stretch, breathe right into the area that you feel the sensation. And exhale, letting the belly go soft and come back to the center. Adjust the shoulders, observe how you feel. Now we're going to do something to release some tension in the upper back. For this, you'll need to move your heels in a little closer and have the knees about hip width apart. So you're going to inhale, and as you exhale, press deeply down into the heels and lift your hips up any amount. Scoop the hips toward the shins. I don't have to come up high at all. I'm not trying to do a back bend. I'm now bring the arms straight up. I'm trying to get the weight of the body right between the shoulder blades there. Okay, so it's not very high. My arms are now going to reach up toward the ceiling, and that's going to increase the pressure between the shoulder blades there and hopefully broaden the shoulder blades. You can rock back and forth a little bit. You can just stay there. Inhale, and then as you exhale, you're going to pull the pelvis toward your shins and lower down one vertebra at a time, and release your arms back down deep into their sockets. We do it 2 more times. So the arms are released down. You're going to inhale, exhale, sink the heels down, lift the hips up any amount. You're just trying to get the weight of the body between your shoulder blades and in the upper back. Now reach the arms up, feel the shoulder blades spread even more. Breathe into that spot right between the shoulder blades, reaching up strongly. And then exhale. It's kind of like you're ironing the whole spine back there as you pull the tailbone toward the shins and release the pelvis back down, and let the arms drop back down deep into their sockets. One more time. Inhale. Exhale, push the heels down, scoop the pelvis toward the shins, any amount. Reach the arms up. Feel the pressure, soften your throat, feel the pressure between the shoulder blades there. Let the lower belly scoop. Reach the arms. You Rock back and forth if you like. And then exhale. Scrub the feet forward as you roll the vertebra down one at a time. Let the arms drop down into their sockets and bring the arms out to the side. Take a few breaths and just see how you feel. See how the shoulders feel, how the neck feels. So now we're going to start the main spiraling exercise. Now it'll be also a little clear why I have these here. So the first thing, now we're moving to the lower body. You're going to let your legs drop off to the right. So my towel has caught my leg, my bottom leg, and now I have a top leg here. So the first part is you're going to take your hand on the bottom leg. It's on the same side hand on the bottom leg. And you're going to inhale and you're going to start to lift the top leg, but keep the bottom leg down. But then at some point you can't go any further. And now you have to put the bottom leg's foot on the floor and bring the other leg up. Now you have both legs centered. Take the legs over to the left, whatever side you're on. That side, the hand holds the bottom leg, and then you take the top leg up, and your head starts also to look up. It's just let your body move however it wants, except that bottom leg stays down until the very last minute, and then it comes up. Now both legs go over to one side. You can continue to use your hand, but you can also see if you can just keep the bottom leg quiet. It takes practice. It wants to habitually come up. Both legs are wide, and then the legs go off to the other side. Now the new top leg comes up. Bottom leg finally follows. Both are over. Notice I'm moving each leg slowly and independently. Okay, keep your legs to one side for a moment. Now we want to come up in a way that will be healthy for our whole body. So there's one other dimension to add here. The top leg, you're going to inhale and stretch it away from your hip. You're going to lengthen the top leg and then bring it up. It feels a little easier, I think. And then you go over to the other side, one leg at a time. Now the top leg reaches away. This adds a little more to the spiraling effect. Both legs are wide as they pass through center, and then they come over. Okay, so that's the movement for the bottom half. And you're watching this independence the whole time, and how you're moving and breathing. So it has a timing of its own, but it's not the same timing that you would have with a metronome so much as a timing with what you feel in your body is the best time to move, in such a way that both the legs can move independently. Okay, the next time your legs are over to the side, stay there. We're going to add now the top part of the body. So your legs are to one side. You're going to turn the head for the opposite direction. So you're looking the opposite way of your legs. You're going to inhale just as you've been doing. Stretch the top leg away to lift it up. And just as it gets to the place where it can't go any further and the bottom leg comes up, that's when you turn your head to the center. So now your legs and your head are in the center. Legs go off to the other side and your head looks to the opposite side. Top leg comes up. Bottom leg starts to follow, as does the head. It's actually a very natural movement, not unlike our stroke patterns, right? They're very natural, and they make total sense once you have them, but I'm just breaking down this movement so that it's clear. But you'll find your way through this pretty easily because it's very natural once you know everything's moving in a spiraling and opposing manner. Head and legs pass through center. When the legs are on One side, the head is looking the other way. Just do this a couple more times. If you want to add your breath to the mix, like a specific kind of breathing, then you just need to really observe it more than anything else. My way of doing the breathing, which is not the only way, is that as you lift the leg up, the top leg up, that's the inhale, and the leg and the head are center, and then as the legs go off to the side and I look in the opposite direction, I exhale. That's just the way I do it, but it's not the only way. You can change your breathing pattern, or you can just let your body breathe naturally without trying to change it at all. All right, so come back to the center so that the legs are just how you were. You can even rest the inner knees together. Settle the upper body. Just observe how you feel. One more part to this. This is directly related to just sort of freeing the pelvis a little bit. You're going to take one leg up and clasp your hands on the area of the shin. And draw the knee toward the chest and come to a stop as soon as you feel any resistance at all. Then press the shin into the hand very gently, like you're barely doing it, but you just start to feel what muscles are engaged in doing that. And then exhale and release the knee toward the chest. You get a little more movement. One more time. Press, sense where the action is. It's where the wrinkles of your pants are probably. And then exhale and see if the knee moves in a little closer. Let's go to the other side. Again, this is the less you do in a way, the better. The more subtle you make this, the more you'll get out of it. So I move the knee toward the chest till I feel it just doesn't really go easily. Then press the shin into the hands. Keep the body soft and without gripping. It's just the leg. And then exhale. Allow the knee to just go so easily, really. And then it stops. One more. Pressing the shin into the hands. And then releasing. Okay. The last thing I recommend is to just stretch the legs out. And lay here for as long as you like. But when you do come up, bend your knees one at a time and roll over to your side. Press yourself up and come to a seated position. Any seated position. Okay, you're ready for the piano and cue sheet 1.